Slot machines operate on the principle of complete randomness for each spin. Every spin is an independent event, unaffected by previous outcomes. The outcome of one spin has no bearing on the outcome of subsequent spins. This ensures unpredictability and fairness in each individual play. The concept of a hot slot machine implies a predictable payout pattern. This belief suggests that past outcomes influence future results in slot machine play. However, slot machines are fundamentally designed using random number generators, RNGs. RNGs ensure that each spin is an independent event, unrelated to previous spins. Therefore, the idea of a hot slot machine contradicts the core principle of true randomness. A hot machine is a psychological construct, not a mechanical reality. Players might perceive a machine as hot after a series of wins. This perception is merely a coincidence of random events. It does not indicate any change in the machine's underlying probability. The concept of a cold machine, one that has not paid out recently, is a common misconception. This belief suggests that a machine's past performance dictates its future outcomes. However, each event in a machine's operation is independent. Therefore, a machine's previous results do not influence its subsequent performance. The phrase, "it's due for a big win," implies a machine accumulates a debt of payout. This suggests the machine must eventually clear this perceived debt. However, this idea fundamentally misunderstands the principles of probability. It also misinterprets the underlying mechanics of how such machines operate. Slot machines operate on a principle of strict independence for each spin. They do not possess any memory or record of past outcomes or results. Every new spin is an entirely independent event, unaffected by previous plays. The probability distribution for winning or losing remains constant for each spin. This ensures that each game begins with the same odds, regardless of prior successes or failures. Random number generators, RNGs, are fundamental to the operation of slot machines. These algorithms are designed to produce sequences of numbers. The generated number sequences are practically impossible to predict. This unpredictability ensures fairness and randomness in game outcomes. A random number generator, RNG, is a computational or physical device designed to produce sequences of numbers. These sequences lack any discernible pattern, ensuring unpredictability and statistical randomness. The RNG operates continuously, generating numbers even when not actively engaged by a user or system. This constant generation ensures a fresh, unpredictable state at any given moment. Upon a user's interaction, such as pressing a spin button, the RNG's current value is captured. This instantaneously captured random number then solely determines the outcome of the action. The outcome of a spin is determined by a random number generator, RNG. This determination occurs in milliseconds, ensuring rapid results. The RNG operates independently of any machine state. Concepts like a machine being hot or cold do not influence the outcome. The Martingale betting system is a strategy often applied in games of chance. Its core principle involves doubling the bet after every loss. The expectation is that a single win will recoup all prior losses. This system aims to recover previous stakes and gain a profit equal to the initial bet. The system in slot machines is inherently flawed due to specific operational constraints. These constraints include imposed betting limits, which restrict player wagers. Additionally, a player's bankroll is finite, representing a limited resource. Consequently, an extended sequence of losses will eventually deplete the bankroll or exceed betting limits. The Martingale fallacy mistakenly assumes that a win is inevitable after a series of losses. This belief is incorrect for independent random events, such as slot machine spin. Each spin is a distinct event, unaffected by previous outcome. Therefore, the probability of winning does not increase with consecutive losses. The Martingale strategy is a betting system often applied in games of chance, like slot machines. It involves doubling the bet after every loss, aiming to recover all previous losses with a single win. However, in the context of slot machines, this strategy carries significant financial risks. Slot machines typically have a house edge and do not offer even odds, unlike some other casino games. A series of consecutive losses can rapidly escalate the required bet size to an unmanageable level. This can lead to rapid and substantial financial losses, depleting a player's bankroll quickly. The illusion of control is a significant psychological factor in slot machine play. Players often believe they can influence outcomes, despite the random nature of slots. This belief stems from actions like pressing buttons at specific times or varying bet sizes. Such behaviors create a false sense of predictability over game results. The perceived ability to control random events contributes to misconceptions about winning. This cognitive bias can lead to increased engagement and continued play despite losses. Cognitive biases are systematic errors in thinking that affect decisions and judgments. One such bias is the gambler's fallacy, a common misconception in probability. It leads individuals to believe that past events influence future independent probabilities. For example, after a series of heads and a coin toss, one might expect tails is due. However, each coin toss is an independent event. Past outcomes do not affect future ones. This fallacy can lead to irrational decisions, especially in games of chance or financial markets. Slot machine design incorporates specific psychological tactics to maintain player engagement. A key tactic involves the strategic use of near misses during gameplay. Near misses are outcomes that almost result in a win, creating a sense of anticipation. Another tactic is the provision of frequent small wins to reinforce positive feedback. These design elements collectively reinforce psychological biases, encouraging continued play. The mathematical expectation of a slot machine refers to the average outcome for a player over many plays. This expectation is consistently negative for the player, indicating an inherent disadvantage. Over an extended period, the machine is engineered to retain a specific percentage of all wagers placed. This retained amount represents the house edge, ensuring profitability for the casino. Therefore, continuous play will, on average, result in financial loss for the individual player. The house edge represents a negative expectation for players in games of chance. This inherent disadvantage is deliberately integrated into the game's design and programming. It ensures a statistical advantage for the operator over the long term. Ultimately, the house edge guarantees profitability for the game operator. Return to player, RTP. Percentage indicates the theoretical payout rate of a game over an extended period. It is calculated as a long-term average, reflecting the expected return across millions of plays. Despite this average, individual game outcomes remain random and unpredictable. Therefore, RTP does not guarantee specific returns for any single session or individual player. High player retention in slot machines is a complex outcome. It results from the interplay between human psychology and mathematical design. The core psychological driver is the thrill of potential wins. This anticipation keeps players engaged, even with infrequent payouts. Mathematical algorithms ensure a balanced game, providing just enough wins to sustain interest. This combination fosters a compelling experience, encouraging prolonged play. The mechanism of addiction often involves a combination of psychological and behavioral factors. One key element is the unpredictable nature of rewards or wins in certain activities. This unpredictability creates a heightened sense of anticipation and engagement. Coupled with this is the intermittent reinforcement schedule, where rewards are not constant. Intermittent reinforcement is highly effective in maintaining behavior over long periods. Together, these factors can establish a powerful and highly addictive loop for individuals. Understanding slot machine mechanics is crucial for dispelling common fallacies. A key component is the random number generator, RNG. The RNG continuously produces sequences of numbers, even when the machine is idle. These numbers determine the outcome of each spin, ensuring randomness. Slot machines have no memory of past spins or payout. Each spin is an independent event, unaffected by previous results. Understanding psychological traps is crucial for informed decision-making. The illusion of control leads individuals to overestimate their influence over random events. The gambler's fallacy is the mistaken belief that past events influence future independent probabilities. Recognizing these cognitive biases empowers individuals to make more rational choices. Slot machine outcomes are determined by strict mathematical probabilities. Each spin is an independent event, governed by random processes. The machine's state or previous performance does not influence future results. Random number generators ensure unpredictability for every play. This mechanism ensures fairness and prevents patterns from emerging. Understanding slot machines requires acknowledging the independence of each spin. Every spin is a distinct, random event, unaffected by previous outcomes. This principle is fundamental to how slot machines truly operate. Recognizing this helps avoid common misconceptions about game mechanics.